Good evening, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another awareness session of Reconstructing Minds Incorporated in partnership with Positive Lifestyle Management and Ghetto Gospel Awakening the Sleeping Giant. My name is Shantario, aka Brother Midnight. Today I got a very interesting subject. I want to talk about the wilderness experience and the light bulb effect. The wilderness experience and the light bulb effect. I'm going to begin with something biblical from the Bible in Numbers chapter 14, beginning at verse 33. And I'm going to finish out at verse 34. And it says, "And your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years, and bear your whoredoms until your carcasses be wasted in the wilderness. After the number of days in which ye search the land, even 40 days, each day for a year, shall you bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and ye shall know my breach of promise." Now, I'm going to be dealing with various pieces of literature. The first piece of literature I'm going to be dealing with is the Preface. I'm going to begin reading at the very first paragraph. And it says, "Our governing body has decided to take on a new concept of organization, a concept that will bring us into the 80s and prepare us for the political and economical realities of Black America. Our leadership feels that we must take advantage of our imprisonment and we must learn what's necessary to be a productive and disciplined organization while we're confined. If we are successful here in this inferior situation, there's no limitations on our potential in the outside world." Now, the second paragraph is going to be very key, because it's going to be dealing with what I just read from a natural perspective instead of a biblical perspective. This is going to be dealing with the reality in transition to the new concept, which was birthed September 21st, 1981. Now, it says the leadership does not expect miracles from the people in our new undertakings. We are aware of the fact that it will take us 18 years to get into this shape. The leadership also realizes without the full support of the people, it will take another 18 years or more to make the new concept of organization a reality. And you've seen this. So much bad information has been brought out. People have been doing what they want to do. Manipulators and infiltrators have entered the family. And even rats have infiltrated this family. And it has been a lot of bogus information passed around and has been accepted by so many to where making the new concept of organization a reality was once a hindrance to the transition point from the old to the new. But now, come last year, September 21st, 2021, was the 40th year of the new concept. We are now in our 40th year, transitioning into our 41st year. And a lot of individuals who were around at that time have been released from prison, and the true essence of growth and development is made possible now. That light bulb effect versus that wilderness experience. Notice what it says. It says 18 years to get into shape, in 18 years or more to make the new concept of organization a reality. So right now, the new concept of organization is being made a reality even the more because you have had so many to say that the new concept is 720. When the reality is 720 was a part of a workout within the Illinois Department of Corrections. It was called the 360, 720, and the 1440. When in actuality, the only thing that has been mentioned is the 360 cycle of life, the 360 cycle of universal awareness, which is love, life, loyalty, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And in reference to that, you can read in the blueprint on pages 48, 55, 56, 67, 72, 89, 96, and other pieces of literature that will lead you to the truth that there is only one new concept, and that new concept is called organization. Organization is a unified and consolidated group of people with an executive structure that deals with the well-being of all its people. It's an executive structure of business and enterprise for individual growth and collective acceleration of the body as a whole. Even within the organization, we have seen that wilderness experience. The fakers and the frauds had to die off. And some of them still have to die off in order to make this new concept of organization a true reality. So the brothers and sisters can truly understand, and even in society can understand the true essence of growth and development. Growth and development is a philosophy of lifestyle management based on organization, which is, it is in essence based on the new concept. Let me continue to read. It says, unfortunately, we don't have time, that kind of time to waste. Therefore, the leadership is requesting that all qualified members help us make this transition into the new concept. We have wasted enough time dwelling on insignificant matters. Let's prepare ourselves for the world. In the process of going from old to new, we will have few complications. It must be understood from the outset that we are not forgetting our past. As some of you know, we have had good moments as well as bad moments in the past. We're putting our past where it belongs, behind us. And that is true. That is a very key statement. We're just putting our past behind us. And we're moving forward. We're progressing, not regressing. It says our past will serve as a motivating force that will enable us to have a glorious future. It's a necessity that we go through changes. You're either growing or dying. To stand still is to die. Our leadership has decided that we will live and flourish into something great. The wilderness experience and the light bulb effect. We're going to go through things. We're going to go through changes. But in order to make this new concept of organization a reality, we must come outside of ourselves, our own selfish endeavors, and really realize what it takes to make the new concept a reality. I'm going to read you something from the December 8th, 1982 memo called What's Happening Inside and Out. extended version. Beginning at the second paragraph, it says, before venturing off into the interior of the sheet, a few fruits of thought. In this story that follows, we want to render to you for some thought. The story that follows is about 4 people named everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. There was an important job to be done, and everybody was asked to do it. Everybody was sure that somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought that anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody blamed somebody when nobody accused anybody. But our motto tells us nobody will be waiting on anybody, but everybody will be somebody. But in order to be that somebody, we got to come out of ourselves. Stop thinking about self and think about the organization. Start thinking about what it takes to be an organization of progress. Notice what it says. That third paragraph says, our brother, as we have stated in the organizational preface, everybody has a responsibility. We make up the organization as individuals who have come together as a collective. This is saying that you as a member of this organization is just as responsible for its growth as your fellow brother, even if he is in leadership and you are not. His responsibility may outweigh yours in that particular position, but the bulk of responsibilities of our goals and objectives don't stop here. Check it out. It says, as we have elaborated upon several times, in order for us as an organization to continue to progress and expand, we must become more educated, politically motivated, and aware of the economical realities of Black America. Only saying that we as an organization face the reality that this is not a one-man band who plays and moves all alone. Everybody must play the tune that he has perfected for our rhythm to be heard and bought. Everyone must do their share. Everybody has a responsibility. That deals with our organizational structure, the individual and the collective. This is from the Preface Second Resurrection. Beginning at the second paragraph, it says, but now again, the word is given, the light bulb effect. It says, and that word is not a mere flashpoint in the cadence of time, but the word for all times, for all members to plug into. This word constitutes our second resurrection advancement within the concept or idea of organization, not only for our survival, but for the development as a proud and capable group of folks able to participate in all the venues of this country, which enrich our lives and fortunes and enable the expression of our culture, which is Black America. It says, for at this time, our organization must take a historical covenant within ourselves that the freedom and dignity of our folks rests essentially upon what we do ourselves and how seriously we take the mantle of leadership and self-determination as directed by the leadership. That's that light bulb experience. Going into our 41st year of the new concept of organization, That light bulb must come on in our minds, which represents our awareness, our consciousness. How conscious are we to the concept of the new concept of organization? This is what is going to set the tone for the next generations coming, the generations coming after us. Because I'm going to tell you something. In order for the children of Israel to enter into the promised land, that first generation had to die off. But the literature tells us to stand still is to die. But the leadership had desired that we would live and flourish into something great. But everyone must do their share. Everybody has responsibility. Now, it says, in the year 1981, the organization's leadership decided to take on the new concept of organization. This measure was to rid our fellow brothers of the gang-banging mentality that had plagued us during the 60s and 70s. Throughout the past 3 years, great concentration was placed on self-discipline and respect, which is the highest or the most important degree of understanding for each other and others around us, according to the common sense approach. This is key to understanding that wilderness experience that the organization went through, and the light bulb experience that the organization is in, the light bulb effect that the organization is experiencing right now. We are right now as an organization coming into a broader and more purpose-driven understanding of the new concept of organization. Reading in the fifth paragraph, second sentence, it says the new concept is the guiding light that should now be well lit in our hearts and minds, for it is enlightenment that keep us on the bright skyways towards success and off the dark roads of regress. See, the new concept of organization is about progression. It's not about standing still. It's not about going back to our old ways. We have one common cause, one mind, one aim, one purpose. We are one mind, one body, one soul. The light bulb must come on. For a lot of us, it's on. But for a great deal of us, it has not truly clicked in on an understanding of the new concept of organization, because so many have been misled. So much misinformation has been passed around. Just like Jesus, when he was teaching the kingdom of God, in John chapter 10, he said, "My sheep hear my voice." And you can find this in John chapter 10. He said, "My sheep." But we are not sheep, we are lions. We are not lining up for a slaughter. We are on the road of progression. But what it takes is awareness. In order for us to truly experience that light bulb effect, we must come to a level of awareness in order to experience the light bulb effect. It says the proper knowledge of our person is an invaluable asset to our success. Yet many of us, this is in the blueprint page 37 through 40. Excuse me. Yet many of us are still in the dark or unsure about what is the proper knowledge for our purpose. Some of us are still chasing the ghost of Donald Goins, never becoming aware of the fact that proper knowledge is knowledge that is designed to rebuild lasting bridges between us and our communities. So the first goal and objective of awareness is to bridge the gap between us and our communities. It says the proper knowledge for our purpose is that which helps us fully understand just how the bridges came to be destroyed in the first place. Awareness of ourselves and our true condition is invaluable to the success of our new concept. Awareness awakens us to the fact that we must cease fooling ourselves that we are living our own lives, whereas for the most part our lives are being lived for us by the forces of which we are unaware or unconscious of which we often do not understand, of which we have very little control. Let's just keep it real. A lot of us are still unaware of the powers that be. Either you are pre-conscious, you somewhat know, you're conscious, you know, or you're unconscious and you don't know. But the golden objective is to be in the knowing. We, the willing, led by the knowing, sent to do the impossible for the ungrateful. That's what it's about. It says this, for example, our past lifestyles were only a reaction to an environmental condition, the ghetto. The ghetto, with its overcrowded and unending insanity, provides an enticing place of crime of all sorts. Insanity is what? Doing the same thing and expecting a different result. If we're doing the same thing, expecting a different result, that is insanity. That will keep us trapped within the wilderness experience without truly coming to an understanding of the light bulb effect, which is finding our purpose according to the new concept. It says our past was only a reaction to an environmental condition, the ghetto. The ghetto of its overcrowdedness and unending insanity provides an enticing place for crimes of all sorts. The ghetto threw a desperate and unhappy people into unbearable closeness, thereby increasing potential frictions, giving birth to never-ending quarrels of accusation and vindictiveness, which produces gang-banging personalities. The literature tells us that we are not a gang. Now, as I continue to read, black on black crime is on the rise and is still on the rise in 2022. Drug addiction is epidemic. Look at what's going on in our society in 2022. Fentanyl is knocking our youth down and the adults. And I'm going to tell you something about drugs And I got this from Cat Williams, listening to his one of his comedy sessions. He said, "You might not have known. You're not going to believe this. Drugs is not a respecter of persons." It says, "Incurable diseases, AIDS and herpes have become common, and chaos is everywhere. While all the above is going on, we are forced to witness the controllers of this land being caught in lies of fraud and deceit." If you don't know, wake up. This is what I'm reading. It's a part of the chapter 4 of the awakening. Excuse me. This is critical to our awareness, our preparedness. Who is the enemy? What is the enemy? This will help us decipher between the wilderness experience and the light bulb effect. Being a part of such a great and glorious organization. It said, with all the above going on, we are forced witness to controllers of this land being caught in lies and fraud and deceit by outside, the destruction of our children. Look at what's going on. A lot of women hollering about abortion. Our youth and our children are being targeted. Fraternize, brother killing brother. How can we be our brother's keeper if we're killing one another? But that's where the principle of love comes into play. The literature tells us that we don't look past the shortcomings of our fellow brother, but we hold him accountable for his actions, behaviors, and attitudes. Homicide and genocide. The total destruction of a race or a group of people has become the order of the day. Genocide. This comes into play dealing with the harsh realities of Black America. Because the true manifestation of what's going on is that they already have a mindset. We don't have to kill them. They'll kill themselves. Why? Because of jealousy, envy, greed, hatred. All these things play a pivotal role in not truly experiencing that light bulb effect when we come into a place of being in the knowing. It says the ghetto concentrates these precious intentions and injects them into our individual personalities, causing most of us to become opportunistic, parasitic, and exploitative of our own kind. Excuse me. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Check it out. Because of this, one can clearly see why we have not been in control of our destiny. By plugging in to our new concept and its inherent program of awareness, we can gain a clear grasp on our problems and a more intelligent understanding of how to solve them. But we must plug into the new concept. We must mold ourselves around the concept and ideology, Ideology meaning the origin of ideas, of organization. In this manner, awareness not only helps us to survive as an organization, but it allows us to hold fast and steady during these times of change. It allows us to grow and develop and to gain mastery over our destiny. But in order to gain mastery over our destiny, we must plug into the new concept of organization, which is based on a philosophy of lifestyle management, which ultimately means we positively learn how to manage our lives. We become positive and productive members of society. Beloved, I hope that we have learned something together. May we continue to grow up and develop with one another as we continue to mold ourselves around the new concept of organization. Love, honor, and respect to the leadership. Love, honor, and respect to the divine visions of the leadership. Plenty much love to all my brothers and sisters.